Hi, my lovelies. I decided to do something a little bit different. A good friend of mine came to visit me over the weekend, and she's a twin flame. She's in a same sex relationship, and her and I were just, having our normal chit chat about our lives and about our twins, of course. And I just decided that it would be really cool to just record one of our conversations and me just asking her questions about her journey and just how she felt overall, regarding this twin flame experience. So I just wanted to share it with you guys, and hopefully you like it. But this is a really, really good friend of mine. Her name is Sky, and she's just amazing. You guys are in for a treat. So I hope you enjoy. Talk to you soon. All right. We're back. Okay, cool. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about the twin flame journey, specifically same sex twin flames and heterosexuals as well. But I do have my beautiful friend Sky with me, so she's going to talk a little bit about her journey. All right. So your twin flame, you're in a same sex relationship, right? So do you feel like there is a difference between same-sex relationships versus heterosexual relationships in terms of the twin flame? No?
Absolutely not. Just, besides gender, nah. Same issues, same struggles, same hurt, same pain.
Yeah?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, cool. Now, how did you meet your twin?
I've actually met my twin in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in middle school. And so let's talk about what 2000, excuse me, 1991, 92.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oof. So I was 12 and she was 11.
Wow.
So that's when we first met.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what's going on with the twin flame relationship now? Like, are you with your partner? Are you separated?
We've actually been separated for about 7 months now, since the beginning of the year. So it doesn't feel super new, but it's really new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does that feel like, being in separation from your partner?
I mean, now it feels like now it's a lot more peaceful than it was at first. At first, it was man, it was hell. It was very, very difficult. Pretty much being placed in a situation to where I had no choice but to let go. It was like either let go or get dragged.
Okay, so let go or get dragged.
Let go or get dragged.
Okay, so let's expand upon that a little bit, because I talk about on my channel a lot that it's best that we just live our lives, and not try to manipulate the relationship in any way. And a part of that is letting go, not letting go of your divine partner, but letting go of the control.
Yeah.
Letting go of, like I said, manipulating the situation and not allowing your counterpart to have those necessary life changes, and life lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So we can kind of come into union with some sort of harmony. So how do you feel about that? I mean, since you and your twin are in separation, do you feel like you are still kind of detached, or you have fully detached from it?
Man, that is because it's such a tricky question, because it's like at some days I'm more detached than others. Like now I've reached a point to where some days I'm just like, I have a complete understanding that it is where it is, and whatever's happening needs to happen. Then some days I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Some days I feel lost. Some days I'm just like, why is this even happening?
Right.
Because you understand how deep the connection is, and it's just like, damn, this is like, because our specific dynamic is I have done more of the work, so it's just like I feel like I have a deeper understanding, and I'm not in denial of what's happening, and I don't feel like my partner is there. It's just like there's still a major resistance.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes it harder when it seems like one person is a lot more knowledgeable of what's happening than the other.
Yeah. So you feel like you have done majority of the work,
Oh
and
no,
your partner is still learning.
I know that I've done it. You know, my just my self love work alone started like October 2011.
Yeah.
So in meeting my partner or re-meeting my partner in mid 2014,
Mm-hmm.
you know, my partner made it very clear to me that, hey, you know, the spiritual journey is very new for me. But even in her admittance to that, she really wasn't doing the work. Even while we were together, I think that she was absorbing a lot of the things that I was saying to her.
Yeah.
But there wasn't the active, consistent work.
Okay.
Yeah. So which made things very, very difficult.
Yeah.
This is like a lot of things that were happening while we were together within the relationship. I was noticing and analyzing, observing everything, and not even intentionally. It's just I've just observed. I just observed the behavior, and I recognize toxic behavior.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of self-inflicted distractions. A lot of avoidance of things that could help the situation, and I took notice to a lot.
Yeah. So you mentioned self-love. We all know that this journey is not for the faint of hearts. We say it all the time. It's tough. You feel consumed by this connection. And like we mentioned earlier, you do feel like sometimes you're slightly obsessed with it. What were some of the tools or methods that you use to kind of help you just slowly detach from the situation and also focus on self-love?
Wow. February is when my detachment journey really, really started. And I would definitely say like meditation.
Okay.
Meditation, sitting alone in silence, seclusion, um, spending a whole lot of time alone.
Okay.
Um, Diary, like actually just like writing down my thoughts, writing down how I feel.
And that was negative and positive emotions? Okay.
I let everything flow. Just let it flow and don't, biggest thing is let it flow and don't judge yourself.
Gotcha.
Because that in itself is a part of self-love. Handle yourself with care, and I even had to learn that because at first, I went through a lot of different emotions at first. Like I was angry with myself for even allowing myself to remain in a situation where I knew there was toxic behavior happening, and I was attached to it. I allowed myself to remain in it. So I found myself pretty, really angry. Like, man, you saw some of the stuff that was happening, and you stayed. You made the decision to stay.
Yeah.
But I found myself literally at war with self at times. Like, man, I can't walk away from my family. I can't leave my family. I can't do that.
Right.
But sometimes leaving is best. Like if you know that it's draining you, and you know that it's not in alignment with love, you gotta go, even if it's just temporary. I think that sometimes fear takes over. So it's just like if what will happen if I leave? But all of that's a part of loving yourself. You let go and trust the process.
Absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of trusting the process, earlier we were watching Serendipity, and during the film, there were a lot of synchronistic things that took place, like signs, and wonders. So, what are some of the signs that you have experienced on your twin flame journey? We all are bombarded with it.
In the beginning, probably like a few weeks into re-meeting my partner, out of the blue, I remember standing in a parking lot, and I just spoke aloud. I was like, "That she is my wife."
Wow.
And it kind of threw me for a loop because I had never spoken those words about anybody, any relationship I've been in.
Yeah.
I would have never even fixed my lips to say that. So that in itself was enough to tell me that something was very, very different.
Now, was that a feeling or something told you that?
It was a knowing. It was a deep, deep knowing. I said it with such conviction.
Right.
You know, and of course I was standing alone, and it just came out of nowhere. I just spoke it aloud, and there was a deep, deep knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other signs. Just feeling super familiar, like we knew each other. Like, and of course, we knew each other in middle school, but it wasn't we weren't super close. It wasn't like we hung out every day or she was a neighbor. We just knew of each other in middle school. She wasn't my best friend or anything.
Yeah.
But as an adult, it's like I had this deep. It's like we knew each other. Like there was a deep bond.
Yeah.
And those were some of the first indications. But more signs have begun to happen, like over the past few months. Like colors.
Okay.
Different places out of the blue, I would see the combination of our colors.
And
the colors are so significant because not only were they, my favorite color, her favorite color, but the colors we were supposed to use for our wedding when we get married.
Yeah.
The colors come up in specific conversations. I was just like, some type of sick joke. It's just so it's just like one of those inside things, like, nah, bro, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the combination of colors. Right off the head. Those are the things that I remember.
Okay. Now, speaking of, is this a sick joke? Like, a lot of twins have said, especially ones that are in separation, they've talked about how when you're bombarded with those synchronicities, those signs, or with your partner's name or their birthday, like, do you ever feel like the universe is playing a trick on you? Do you ever feel like, okay, really, God, what's going on here?
Oh yeah, because with the way that things have been happening, it's like I've asked for specific signs, and I don't receive those specific signs that I asked for, but they come in other ways.
Okay.
Like I've recently made a decision to kind of completely detach and move forward with my life. So I was asked out on a lunch date. So I went on the lunch date, and in conversation, this particular person mentioned that their favorite color was my color.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's my favorite color too. That's pretty dope, right? And then out of the blue, they're like, and my second favorite color is,
and it was her color.
And it was her color. I was like, you gotta be shitting me.
Yeah.
Within the same day, out of the blue, I'm just driving and I glance over, and a freaking that color motorcycle passes by. I'm talking about, this is the color of a motorcycle. It's just not common. It's not a common color.
Wow.
And the person is wearing my color.
Yeah.
And I was just like, come on, man. You just know that. You just like, in these moments, it's like, okay, God, I know you have a sense of humor, but can you just knock it off?
Yeah.
It's just like, knock it off, okay?
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. Or even 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, being taken back out of the blue to one of the first places we went on a date.
Yeah.
I'm always in close vicinity of this place, but I literally have not thought of this place since we went there.
Wow.
But being taken there, like a person that I was dropping off, that was their drop-off spot. And I was like, come on. I'm literally like 2 roads over every single day. I'm on this main road. And I literally have not been to this place or thought about it since 2014.
Wow.
Like, what are the chances of me, of this having to be the spot that I drop somebody off at?
Well, it's no coincidence.
And nah, not at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what do you think all of that means? Like, why do you think we receive so many signs?
I think
like, why is it necessary to even see signs as much as we do, especially when you already somewhat have the knowing, okay, this is my partner? Like, what do you think some of the reasons that the universe would just give you sign after sign?
I think some of it is just to let you know to stay the course. Like,
yeah,
focus on yourself, but don't forget your journey either.
Right.
Know that you are on an individual journey, but know that it's bigger than just your individual journey.
Yeah.
Now the individual journey should be your main focus, because when you lose sight of you lose sight of what's important. But your twin is just as important as you are, but you got to have that balance. So I think sometimes that the signs come to remind you, don't forget.
Yeah.
And maybe for God to say that, hey, I haven't forgotten about what you desire either.
Right.
Because I'm not going to say that every twin flame journey is the same. Maybe some twins don't desire to be with each other.
Right.
But I think the universe knows where your heart is.
Yeah.
And I think that when you are in alignment, and it's a part of your destiny to be aligned with your partner in this lifetime, you're gonna know it. And I think that those little signs are ways to tell you that, hey, I haven't forgotten.
It's a beautiful thing, though. It is just
to
be connected with God.
It hurts though sometimes, depending on where you are emotionally. It's just like, oh God, I was doing just fine without without that reminder. My mind, let me be. Can I breathe? Can I breathe, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as far as being in the same sex relationship with your twin, do you think it's a clear indication which one is the divine feminine or the divine masculine, or do you kind of think it's kind of rotated?
Yeah, I think it rotates. I think there's a combination, because I would have thought I was a bit more masculine in the beginning, but I can see how we kind of balance each other out in certain ways. There are times where I may take the lead in that,
yeah,
and then vice versa. Yeah, and there were times where it was been kind of vice versa, and I think that the more that you kind of find balance in an individual balance, that it kind of evens out a bit of femininity, a bit of masculinity. I think in any, whether it's same sex or not, I think that you should. I think that everybody kind of has that balance when things are going how they're supposed to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it even matters though? Like,
I think it's fluid.
Okay.
I think it's fluid. I think that it matters more to people who focus more on what they're.
I'm sorry about that. So we were talking about, does it really matter? I mean, if you have an indication if it's the feminine or masculine.
I think that when you're just living and allowing things to flow, it doesn't.
Gotcha.
You just. I think that there's just an innate being. Things just flow naturally. I think that people are conditioned to outline or kind of highlight certain things, or like when people. I think that we're conditioned to play certain roles, and because we're conditioned to believe a certain something, we try to follow it. But I think that the more that you get into spirituality and get into just being yourself and being your authentic self, that you kind of shed the skin of what you're supposed to be and what things are supposed to look like. Yeah. So no, I really don't think it matters.
Okay. Now, since the two of you right now are in separation, like what is your faith level like? Like, are you still in good hopes that the two of you will reunite?
Right now, today, in this specific moment,
today is the key word.
Today is the key word. In this moment, I don't care.
Okay.
And it's only because this journey is so damn exhausting.
Yeah.
It can be so. I mean, it can be so consuming. I think if you're not careful, this shit will run your life.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's one of the things that I've learned. Like if you're not careful, it will take over your entire life. So right now in this moment, it doesn't matter to me. And what matters most is that I'm happy.
Yeah.
And that I'm driven, and I have goals,
right.
and things that I want to accomplish for myself that I will, and then within the next year, that I will have established and accomplished. And it's just like, if my partner is open and willing and mature enough to take the journey with me, let's do it. If not, I know that there'll be another woman that's more than happy to take the journey with me.
Okay.
6 months ago, 7 months ago, I couldn't say that shit because I was so wrapped up in her.
Yeah.
And now I've grown to the point to where I love and adore myself enough to say, hey, if you don't want to take the journey, I feel like there's somebody who's more than happy to do it. And I think that once you have a knowledge of who your partner is, it can be difficult to say, okay, it is what it is. But it's just like, either I'm gonna be happy or I'm not. I'm not gonna base my happiness on another person. I don't want to do that. I think that life is it's bigger than that.
Yeah, definitely. So that means you are pro dating when you
absolutely.
after you meet your twin. Okay.
I am, only because here's the thing. If this is all about free will, you don't know what the hell your partner's doing. I mean, it's just realistic. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, here you are, and see, for me in my situation,
yeah,
it's like once I committed.
Right.
It's like I was down. There were times where I was like, man, I can't do this shit, only because I realized, like, I felt like I was the only person who was doing the spiritual work.
Okay.
I feel like, I'm not gonna say that my partner was just like totally not doing anything, but I recognized that there were more distractions. There was more like the putting distractions and allowing yourself to be drawn in every direction besides just focusing and consistently working. And I'm just like, man, I'm the one who's mainly doing the work. That's frustrating.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's super frustrating. So it's just like, you can't control what another person is doing.
That's
so
true.
you gotta focus on you. It's like, if you got a person that doesn't want to do the work with you or doesn't want to take the journey with you, man, you just gotta live your life.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that. I don't feel like the universe wants us to stay stuck on stupid, or stay stuck in a place to where we're waiting while time is passing, because even though time is fluid, our time in this earthly realm is limited, whether we like it or not. So it's like, either you're gonna take the time to live and be happy, or you're gonna wait on a person. And I would never ever ever tell another person to wait. Don't wait. Live your life.
Yeah.
Don't be reckless though. Make smart moves, but live your life.
Okay. I can definitely see that. Now, a lot of people say that if you're working, your twin is working. And if your twin has not, come into the picture as of yet, then it's something that you're doing as well. Do you really believe that? Do you believe that one, like, basically, if your twin is not up to par, that means you're not up to par? Do you? Because I personally don't believe that. I don't.
Man, that's a hard question. That is a hard question, and I only say it's hard because how can that be so if you know that you started the work long before your twin?
Right.
But at the same time, we sometimes get ourselves wrapped in distractions.
Yeah.
And it's like, so who's to say that you've consistently done the work? We may get distracted by another relationship,
right,
by jobs, and stop. There are things that happen where we stop working on ourselves sometimes.
Right.
But there's situations to where a twin can come in and do the work consistently and drop the resistance and maybe advance to further than we were.
Right.
You just, like, there are no rules. So it's just like, it's hard to say.
Okay.
It's hard to say. And it's like, because the truth of the matter is also, there'll always be work to do. Even when you think, okay, I got this shit on lock, there's still something that you can be working on.
Right.
Maybe not as much.
Yeah.
It may not be as heavy, but as long as you're on Earth, there'll be something that you could improve on.
Right.
So I think that's really hard to say.
Well, what do you think about as far as your journey? I mean, like you already said you've done the work and you felt like your twin has done some work, but they aren't consistent as of yet. I mean, do you feel like there's a delay because the both of you are resistant in some way?
Could be.
Okay.
Could be. Because when I say that I've done the work,
yeah,
I've done enough work to recognize, I've done enough work to know how to listen to my spirit.
Gotcha.
I've done enough work to know how to listen to the little nudges that come along to say, hey, this is what's happening, or hey, this is where your twin is, or hey, this is what your twin is doing at this time.
Right.
This is what you're doing that you could improve. And it's just like, sometimes I don't even want to hear it. Sometimes there's so much noise happening. Yeah. I don't even want to hear it. I just don't even want to be bothered with the journey. But the whole I'm tired.
Yeah, we all understand. It's just not easy.
It's not. It's
yeah, it's definitely not. I know one of my subscribers said something. Well, they just asked me a powerful question. They said, Empress, you always say, just live your life. And he said, well, how do I do that? Yeah. Like, how do you do that? How do you live your life? I mean, I know how I did it, but how did you go about just taking those small steps towards just really working on your purpose, working on you, and just deciding that I can't let this relationship drown me. I have to live.
Man, the first month to a month and a half.
Yeah.
Meditation.
And
here's the thing, you got a lot of people that they'll say, well, I don't know how to, man, there's so many YouTube University.
Yeah.
Get your ass on and look for something. Like, I always suggest like guided meditation.
Yeah.
What's the area that you struggle in?
Right.
If your struggle area is letting go, it's just as simple as typing in let go meditation.
Yep.
Serenity meditation. Like, there's literally a meditation for everything on
That's
YouTube.
True.
So I within my first like 40 days with a separation, I fasted. I ended up dropping 20 pounds. And I mainly water, fruits and vegetables. But the first probably almost 30 days, water, fruits and fruit smoothies from Arden's garden. So hard. It was very, very difficult. But I could tell that this time around, because I've been through, I think that if you've grown, you've experienced a breakup or two.
Right.
This breakup was so much more different than any other breakup I've been through. Yeah. And that was one indication. Me going into fasting and saying, hey, you know what, this time around, I'm going to figure this thing out. And that's what it was about. I'm going to get my breakthrough. Whatever my breakthrough is supposed to be, to where I get back to where I need to be, to where I'm just focusing on me, I'm going to figure it out. So that's what that fasting was about. And it also taught me that I was an emotional eater.
Gotcha.
And it also taught me some things about why I was holding on to so much weight.
Gotcha.
But when I let go, when I made a decision to let go of the relationship, or let go of how I thought it was supposed to look, I let go of weight, and I let go of other things that were holding me back in that area.
Okay. I can see that though. It makes sense. It makes sense. Letting go, you always find out something beautiful about yourself, and you get these amazing experiences. So let's talk about something on a good note. So usually when our twins come into our lives, something significant changes about us. Whether we have our consciousness is expanded, we become more spiritual. We start to truly become the better version of ourselves by stepping into our purpose, being more of, as they say, a light for humanity. What are some of the things that you experienced that actually helped you become better because of this relationship?
Well, sometimes the things that help us, we don't recognize. we don't really recognize are helping us at first.
Yeah.
So my first real epiphany on unconditional love was like August 2016.
Okay.
We got into like we hadn't had a whole lot of major arguments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there were times where we disagreed, you know, but it never really got to where it was just like really bad.
Yeah.
You know, that's only happened like really bad as in, okay, now it's a real argument. It's, you know, so August 2016, you know, it was a real argument. And it made me question how I saw love. So, and I'd never really done that before.
Wow.
So, the day after we argued, I went to work and it was kicking my ass. It was really bothering me. So I ended up listening to Wayne Dyer.
Yeah.
And it made me question things about how I saw my partner and why I even put myself in a place to judge her.
Wow.
So it really made me. I literally had to come home and apologize and say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry I handled you like that. You know, I really, really love you. And because I love you, I don't want to put myself in a position to judge you. I think that we do it often, but I think if we can just learn to kind of observe a situation.
Yeah.
Without putting the judgment on it, you know, because judgment hurts. When you're judging a person, all love is being removed.
Yeah.
You know, judgment blocks love, and I don't think we realize it. You know, but I saw when, you know, the things as we were arguing, I saw that it hurt her. The things that were being said, I saw that it was causing pain. It's like when you love a person, you don't want to hurt them.
Right.
You know, so I think that that's one good thing that came out of it. I had a realization of what it really meant to love a person unconditionally and just accept them for where they were.
Absolutely.
Also, in letting go, I actually was able to latch on to what my life purpose really was.
Right.
You know, and that's when I really learned, you know, that I really wanted to be able to help people.
Yeah.
Help people become the greatest version of themselves and help people reach whatever goals that they were really trying to reach. But I didn't really embrace it until I was able to let go and start to let go of the relationship.
Yeah.
And then I was able to, once I started focusing on myself, that's when I started realizing, man, I really love to help people, man. Why am I not doing it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that was a great, you know, that was a great, one of the great things that came out of which my partner mentioned to me more than one time in the relationship. Say you're always trying to help people. Won't you do that?
Wow.
Yeah. Which was a double-edged sword because it's just like it would be mentioned, but because it was something that I naturally did.
Yeah.
She didn't want to hear the shit when I was trying to help her out.
Ah.
And it's just like, okay, you telling me to go help people, but you don't even want my help.
Right.
That can be a bit confusing too, you know.
Twins are stubborn.
Very much so.
Very, very stubborn. I know mine is stubborn as well. Yeah. Now, I get a lot of comments on my channel, basically from a lot of the divine feminine who are just in pain, like. They've been separated for years, or maybe they do have some sort of interaction with their divine partner, but you know, it's just not on the most positive terms. You know, sometimes their divine masculine or divine feminine will block them on social media. Some of them have been in situations where their twin have cheated on them. So what type of advice would you give someone who is currently going through that? And it's with their twin? Like, what would you say would be the best thing for them to do?
As far as advice on people who are still with their twins or in separation?
Both. Because a lot of them aren't with their divine partner. They're I guess because they're reaching out, and I call it a form of control. Yeah. When you're trying to reach out and manipulate the situation, you're going to get pushback.
Let that shit go.
Let that shit go.
Let go and get dragged.
Let go and get dragged.
Let go and get dragged.
Yeah.
That was my lesson for this year. That has literally been my lesson for let go and get dragged.
Right.
And when I tell you that shit, it don't feel good being dragged. You still look down and all your little meat be off your knees.
Exactly.
Let that shit go. Like, let go of wanting to have control.
Right.
Like, and here's the thing: do you trust God or not?
That's the question.
You trust God enough to know that you've been connected to a twin flame, but you don't trust God enough to work it out.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, it's deep, but it's real.
Yeah,
it's real, and it let go.
Yeah,
and I myself know first person that is so difficult, but I think sometimes we make it more difficult than it has to be.
Yeah,
find something else to focus on.
Yep.
Mine has been building my own business.
Yeah.
Find it, whether you go back to school,
right?
You go to school, create something. You focus on maybe building your physique,
right?
If you have children, focus on creating projects that you can do with your children. You want to travel the world, travel the world. The crappy part about all of this is everything that you want to do, you always probably want to include your partner in it.
That's true.
So it's just like, I want to travel, but I want to travel the world with my twin. Well, right now you can't do it.
Exactly.
So do it by yourself. Find a way to love on you that doesn't include your twin.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. Let go and just focus on you, which, it's probably become cliche when you hear it so much, but it's only because it's only helping you grow.
Absolutely.
It's only helping you grow. It's only making you love yourself more. You love yourself more, you can love somebody else more. And, whatever issues that you have, whatever conflicts you have begin to melt away when you work on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love that. So let go and focus on yourself.
Let go and focus on yourself.
Absolutely.
I
definitely believe that.
But sometimes we make it harder than it has to be.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm definitely a big preacher on that. I say that a lot on my channel. Like, you have to find another way to channel your energy.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on this relationship that is truly the cherry on top.
Yeah.
When you speak of, a cake, you're basically the cake, you're the icing.
Yeah.
Your twin is just simply the cherry that sits on top of it. So now the last question I want to ask you, do you think you and your twin are coming back together in this lifetime?
You know what? I don't really know.
You don't know.
I think a part of me feels like it will happen.
Yeah.
Because of how things have played out.
Mm-hmm.
Then a part of me is like, sometimes with as exhausted as it has made me, I don't give a shit. Because it's just like, I would rather put myself in a situation to where I know, okay, I've done the work and there's somebody else out there that is in alignment with me.
Right.
And sometimes I'm just like, okay, if the universe brings me somebody else, then so be it. Because it's just like, you can't, because it's free will, you can't force it.
Right.
It's like, why am I going to sit around and be miserable and wait for you? That's how I see it. Maybe that ain't the healthiest way to see it, but it's like, when you realize you have a twin, you know that is your ultimate relationship.
Right.
But if they don't do the work, then what? It's like, so it's just like, either you can trust God that it'll happen, but what if it doesn't happen in this lifetime? You can ask. Feel like you can ask the divine and you'll get that answer. But what if you get the answer that it's not in this lifetime? What do? Can't stop living. Yeah. But if you do get the answer that it will happen in this lifetime, you just have to trust that it will. Here's the thing, though. I've never met a person that gets told, hey, it's going to happen in 2 years. In 3 years, your twin, you and your twin will meet up at Starbucks. I don't know. You just don't know. Yeah. So I think the whole thing is just live your life. Live your life. The not knowing eats you the hell up, though.
Yeah, it does.
It's man, it's a sticky situation.
Definitely a sticky situation.
It's a sticky situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sky, for doing this. I'm sure my subscribers are going to love it. I want to try something new. I wanted to interview people and just get to know each journey. Like, I think the more we connect, the better we become. And I think, it actually makes us stronger as a unit. It makes us stronger as individuals as well.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of the twin flames are in pain right now, especially if they're in separation.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think it gives them just another view on things and gives them more insight. And I think it I don't know, I think we act as motivators in a way to keep people in a positive state of mind. You know, like we see what you're going through. We know that it's a struggle, but guess what? You can find your way through this. And you have done it.
Man. The biggest, man, love on yourself, man.
Yeah.
If it weren't for me taking the time to meditate and actually seclude myself at times.
Yeah.
Secluding meaning even with social media. Put it down sometimes.
Right.
Like get away from it. Like write, create, like draw. If whatever your thing is, if it's running, if it's exercising, if it's like find a way to escape.
Absolutely.
You know, a positive way to escape, man. Throw yourself into building something. Yeah. You know, whether it's a business or find something that you love and focus on that. But make sure that it's all in alignment with focusing on loving yourself. You know, because if you're learning to do that, it's going to minimize that pain. And that's not to say you're not gonna have pain. Some days you're just gonna hurt.
Right.
But just also accept that it's a part of the process.
It's a part of the process.
It's a part of the process. You know. But I don't know. That's the best advice I can give. Love on yourself. Love on yourself, and when it hurts, sometimes when it hurts, you gotta lean into that shit too. Yeah. Because in the beginning, in first realizing that the separation was happening, I had to lean into that shit. Because you can run if you want, but you're just prolonging the time, in my opinion.
I agree.
You know, so I made a decision to deal with it. Deal with the fact that okay, in the beginning there may have been some codependency. There may have been some abandonment issues. Not even may have. There were some abandonment issues that went all the way back to my childhood. Yeah. So maybe make it a project to okay, this month if you got codependency issues, this month I'm gonna work on codependency. Right. Next month I'm gonna work on meditating. Yeah. And then the next month I'm gonna work on clearing my chakras. Man, you can make shit. You could even make it fun if you want to.
That's true.
You know. So this month I'm gonna work on my finances.
Right.
You know, find something to focus on besides that other human being that's doing whatever the hell they want to do.
That's actually walking in their journey. Yeah. I mean, they're learning their life lessons. That's a part of their journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes we get so fixated on that person, we forget about it. We forget that this is about our own individual journey too.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
It's very, very true. Well, thank you so much, Sky. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Boski. All right, my lovelies. I will definitely bring some more your way. I think I like this whole twin flame confession session. Yeah. I like it. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.